Hey everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone is having a good day so far. Just getting my references and stuff ready. Tazy, how's it going? Fox, hey, how are you? Let me know if you can hear me okay, if the music's coming through all right. I'm gonna make an announcement really quick. There we go. T-Rex, how's it going? Fox, I'm doing well this morning. Got my coffee. Been looking forward to the weekend. So I'm happy to be here sculpting and being able to chill this weekend. Glory Wiz, hi, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Evan, hello. T-Rex, good model, thank you. We will make it even better, hopefully, as I get more detail packed in here. I was actually just about to keep working on Roy Lewis. Thanks so much for the donation. Hello, looking great. This wing lizard, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Roy Levis, sorry. Levis. I thought I saw a W there for some reason. T-Rex. Thank you. Tazy. Yesterday we saw Peru and testing. It looked so amazing. Good work. Thanks so much. Yeah, I got a tiny glimpse of that. I did pop into Furious's stream for. I was like in and out. I was trying to pay attention, but I had work yesterday, so I wasn't able to fully like be in the stream. But I did see the Puru walking around and like swimming and stuff, and yeah, I get really excited to see the models starting to come to life, you know, like the initial like passes of animation are really cool, and I'm happy that he looks really good, like all the textures and stuff, especially like in game and seeing the lighting like hit the skin of the Peru, and how especially like the scoots on the back. I just think he looks really cool. So I'm happy with that. I'm excited that he's starting to get animation, you know, more progress, and hopefully we'll have him in soon. I'm excited for people to play as Peru. Kyle, what's up? Does it feel like your baby learned? So what kind of? I guess that is what that might feel like, right? I don't have kids of my own, so I wouldn't know. But it is kind of that kind of idea, right? Like something that you've made and like you've only seen just on the screen, like super static, right? And finally you get to see it moving around and like actually look like it's alive. It's a good feeling. I gotta check how many bones these guys have in their feet. So I think I'm missing some joint indication. Dre, hey, how's it going? Shark fan. Look at those claws. Yeah, I wanna get these guys refined up today. Get some texture, like nice scale texture on the toes. They're gonna be exposed, so I think it makes sense that they would have like a more what would it be called? Like a durable skin covering here. So I'm gonna go with scales on the feet, and then we'll fade them up. We'll fade the scales off as it turns into more of the fur fuzzy texture up at the top there, but the majority of the feet will have small scales. So that's what I'm kind of prepping for right here. Just getting the surface ready so I can add that detail on top. -1. How's it going? Thank you. Hello, how are you doing? Tropeo looks awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Happy to be here at the stream today. This is kind of like, I don't know, I feel like my my stream times are like kind of like my chill out and have fun working on dinosaur times, you know? So I look forward to them a lot. Getting to talk to you guys and stuff. So yeah, it's good. It's a good way to starting out the day with some good work and chatting. really makes the day feel productive, you know. So I'm happy. Minus strikes again, of course. Brittany Townley, bro, really like making the feet top looking. I guess I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, I gotta make every section of the model look good, right? So. Can't skip on details anywhere. You never know where people are gonna see. That's the thing about video game is like people can look around your whole entire model, right? So you gotta detail everything. It's different from like illustration and stuff like that. Like, you know where your camera is going to be. So, and sometimes there's other elements, like there's UI that could be laid over, or like framing that could be laid over. So sometimes you don't have to detail like everything. You can kind of get away with hiding stuff that the viewer's never going to see, but here you can't do that. I only want to buy the game, that's all. Islander, I know you're here. Is Islander here? Maybe he's lurking around there somewhere. Sharky, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. How have you been? You know, I mean, I'm a pretty nosy gamer, like, especially if it's a game that I really like. I mean, but then again, I'm thinking in terms of, I mean, I think like a game dev, right? It's like a modeler, so I always want to see what people are doing with their models. So I'm definitely one of those people that's zooming in everywhere, trying to see what's going on and how they're making their models work. I do that all the time in Monster Hunter. Except Monster Hunter's kind of a little bit annoying because like they fade out whenever your camera gets close to an object, it fades it out. So you can't like... It's good for gameplay, of course, but you can't, if you're really curious about how something looks close up, it's hard to get your camera in there. Their camera mode, their photo mode can kind of help, but it's still a little bit weird. This is also like... it's like something that's carried over from my illustration sort of discipline, I suppose. One thing you learn in illustration, especially if you're doing a lot of character work, which I have done, is like faces and hands are super important to get right because they're the most complicated structures in a character. So if you extrapolate that to a dino, you really want to nail faces, hands, feet. You want to get your details correct in those areas. What dinos have I worked on? Like so far? So far, it's just been the Eo, Orano, Peru, and the Tropeo now. So 4 total. I don't know exactly how the camera is going to be in game. Like, is it slightly... I think your character's slightly offset maybe, or is it perfectly centered? Because you're probably going to see a lot of the backside here, right? Like this, of your Tropeo flying. Tazy, are all the feet copy paste? They're mirrored. It's mirroring over on the x-axis, so I only have to do one side, and it mirrors everything to the other side. So that's a good, that's a little advantage of working digitally, right? I don't have to do literally all double the work essentially, right? Like traditional sculptors do. I think that's looking pretty good. I do want to get these, the feeling of the tendons on the back of the foot here a little bit better. Okay. I still need to work on the texture for the wing. But that's also it's also coming along okay. Let's work on the fingers. Because I started working on these and then I sort of left them hanging a little bit. I need to get these claws to curve a little bit more. How's it going? It's bam. I'm sorry, Baba Maba. Sorry, guys. Welcome, welcome. Easy. Do modelers make one fang or claw and then copy paste it? When making changes to one, it transfers to all copies. I don't know the right terms in modeling software. I only know how Illustrator. No, not necessarily. Like you can do that. Like essentially, like this here. The teeth here are technically duplicated, right? So the structure is very similar, right? So it wouldn't make sense for me to individually sculpt every tooth because they're so similar to each other. So it makes more sense as far as efficiency to just make one and then duplicate it along. But if I make a change to one tooth, you see I'm wiggling this tooth right here. The other teeth don't change. You can set up something like that. It would be called, there's, like in Blender, you can do like instances where you can copy an object and arrange them on a model. And if you make changes to one, it will update the rest of them. I use that more in like architecture though. I don't really do that with organic sculpts because you kind of want the irregularity where you can. Like, these teeth are the same mesh, but you can see they're slightly different orientations, they're slightly different sizes. They're not like perfectly matching each other, and that's kind of what you want in an organic mesh like this. And I tend to lean into that, so I don't really want the update to happen everywhere. Otherwise, it'll feel too mechanical. On stuff like this, like the claws that I'm working on over here, they're not done the same way because they're attached to the rest of the body, there's no like separation here. The mesh continues. So these are actually individually sculpted, but they are mirrored across the axis like I was talking. Just interested to know the workflow. Yeah, no problem. Whatever questions you have, just let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. Sharky, since you're getting back into content creation, would you be down to collab? Yeah, no, yeah, that would be sick. I would love to do that. When is the Puru release? Not planning soon. We're still working on the Puru's animations and all that stuff. I think there is good progress on that. But there's still a lot to do, so I wouldn't anticipate like super soon. I would just keep an eye on like the streams and stuff so you can see how it's coming along. But I think we are making really good progress on it. I was like I was telling Tazy earlier, I was watching stream yesterday and they were showing Furious was showing the Puru walking around and stuff, and it looks really good. It's just I'm assuming like a lot of the systems and stuff like there's a lot of animations. Like if you were to look at the list of animations that had to be done to get one animal to like look right, you know, and like behave properly, it's a ton. It's a lot of animations. So we got to get through all that, and then I'm sure like the other like Furious has to go through all the balancing and all that stuff, make sure all the values are correct and all that stuff. So take some time. But the thing about it is like with each dino that we do, we learn more and more and we get faster and faster at doing it. So the more we do, the more quickly in theory we can get stuff out. It's just there's just some stuff that you can't rush, right? Tazy, interesting. Thanks for explaining. I tried to learn 3D in school, but my brain just melted. But after seeing you working, I start to see similarities to 2D stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of crossover in the like technicalities of it, like how you actually get stuff done is a little different, but there is some crossover, like all this stuff. These subtools, you can kind of consider them layers. There are literal layers in here. Like you can add a layer on your model. This works really similar to what like you would do in Photoshop. It in the same way in like Substance Painter, it's very similar. There's a lot of other stuff that can cross over as well. So I would say, like, I don't know, maybe if you're still interested, try it out and see. Maybe it makes more sense to you now that you have, that you've accumulated all that experience in 2D. Might help you more now. Don't want to be offensive or something, but the baby and juvie Puru have really weird eyes. It will change or stay as shown in the stream. I don't know what the eyes look like in the... I think there might have been something going on with the blend shapes in the stream, because they did look a little bit, at least what I saw, looked like it wasn't displaying properly. So I don't know if Furious had them like hooked up fully, but the Purusaurus growth that we did on stream, that's the way it should look. The baby crocodiles, caiman, alligators, they have big eyes. They have big heads compared to their body. It's a thing called I think it's called encephalization, where like baby animals have bigger heads, big eyes. They have that cute look, right? So it's not like the baby Purusaurus isn't just going to look like a miniature, like a shrunken down Purusaurus. I think that would look much weirder, honestly. Just like if you took the Puru and just like scaled it down really tiny, I think that would look very fake. So there has to be some proportion change. So that's what we're trying to achieve, something that looks natural. I mean, it might look, I think it looks cool. The way the like baby crocodiles, baby alligators look very cute to me. Maybe some people think they're weird, but I think they look very cute. So I don't know, maybe you saw something that was not like working as intended, but we're getting it together. Yeah, they should have like little googly eyes, right? Like look at a baby caiman. Like look at this thing. Oh. It's a video. I don't want a video, I just want the image. Open image in new tab. There you go. Like he's got a huge head. His eyes are big. I think he looks very cool. He's a cute little guy. Tiny teeth. And then as they grow, right, their skull matures, so it lengthens, and their eyes get like proportionally smaller to their body. Their teeth get bigger and all that stuff. Only thing wrong with the baby is that it would have longer legs, but perfectly fine. Yeah, we have limitations with the legs, because of the animation constraints. We have to use the same armature for all of the animations for Puru, and there's certain parts of the armature that you can't change the length of or like proportions of, or else it'll screw up the rest of the animations for everything. So there are limitations to it. Like we have to make concessions here and there for certain things. So that is one area where we can't really, we kind of have to do optical like illusions. We have to do our best to make it look like, for example, instead of literally lengthening the leg, what we ended up doing is we made the legs thinner. So that way it helped like the proportions of the legs look a little bit more correct. But yeah, we can't really change the length of the legs, unfortunately. I wish we could. But that's something that I had to double check with everybody and make sure like what was possible and what wasn't, and that was one of the limitations. I think as far as like for like the Tropeo, we still have to do growth for Tropeo too. I think as far as growth for Tropeo, baby pterosaurs, from what I know of the research, baby pterosaurs were able to fly actually pretty soon after they were born. They weren't like birds where they had to wait like months and months, or like weeks and weeks maybe, before they're mature enough to fly. So proportionally, their limbs are much more similar to the adult version than maybe other reptiles would be. So that's something that we're probably going to have to explore when we get to it. That's going to be pretty interesting. I actually haven't thought, that gets my brain going right now. I haven't thought a lot about what the baby Tropeo is going to look like. Yeah, the fur is another thing with the Tropeo. How many models do you make for growth stage of dinos? I think there are... So it's the same, it's not multiple models, right? It's like, it's the same model, it's just the shapes are different. But there are 4 different shapes, 4 different stages. You have the adult, the adult male, the adult female version, and then we have the sub, the juvie, the adolescent, and the hatchling. So 4, I think. ERX, no worries. I mean, it's I'm just like explaining to like the reasons why it looks the way it looks. I mean, if ultimately you think it looks weird, then that's okay still. I mean, I get it, but I do my best to try to like make things look natural and all that stuff. I'm pretty happy with the way that the the Prusaurus looks in like concept and the way the model looked. But as far as the way it got into the game, I think there's like fine tuning. So I would like maybe check in on it, you know, a few weeks later and see how it looks. Because we gotta iron stuff out all the time, you know. Have you seen baby owls? They're freaking hideous. I mean, they do. I say they do look very awkward because like their feathers are all like poofed out, right? Like they're very like they look like they've been tumbled through the dryer or something, and their feathers are very like staticky. I think they look kind of funny, especially compared to the fully like owls are probably some of the most like badass looking animals that I've like ever seen, right? Like owls and other birds of prey, they just look so cool. But you contrast like how cool the adult looks with how like derpy the babies look. I think it's pretty funny. How do you expect Tropeo to feel? Will it be scavenger or fish hunter? I think it's a fisher. I love the idea of it being more capable of hunting and interacting with land dinos. I mean, I think that we will build in some capacity for them to do that, but I think their main like food source is probably going to be fish. But yeah, I won't like say too much about that because I'm not in charge of planning that stuff. I'm just going off of what I've heard Furious talk about, but I'm not sure like what the exact plans for it are. I think Tazy's right. I think it is going to have some kind of flesh tear capability because of its teeth. I did that in the concept art. Like I showed it like ripping into I think it was like an Eocarcharia with its teeth. So that is something that I think we'll try to achieve. We do have a list of dinosaurs. I've heard there are a couple names that might be coming up next. Someone said that Islander mentioned it could either be the what is it? Dinochirus or Pachycephalosaurus. I haven't confirmed with him yet. Or it could be neither of those. It could be another one off the list, who knows. Oh, there you go. Dinosaur has the list there. That, as far as I know, that seems to be accurate, but I'm also not 100% sure. So. I thought about eyelashes. I think only saw dinos with eyelashes and very realistic dinos. I mean, we could maybe do eyelashes. It's a very small detail. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's possible to do that. No, birds have eyelashes as well, and the pterosaurs did have feathers and other fibers, so it could be a thing, but I don't know. I like birds can have eyelashes, but they also just as equally like don't have them. So I don't know. I think it could go either way. I've always been curious, like when making a model, depends on the size. If it depends on the size, or if it's being prioritized, but how long does it take typically to fully complete a model without animation? Dinosaur. It took 100 hours. Yeah, I'd say between 80 and 100 is a good estimate. Purosaurus did take longer. Like if it really depends on the dino though. Like if you were to ask me to make like a theropod, like around like Eocarcharia, like something like that, I could pretty solidly tell you that that's going to take around 80 hours to make. Because a large part of the factoring in for time is the skin. Because Eocarcharia, like a dino like Eocarcharia, they have very consistent like skin texture pattern on them. Like their skin doesn't vary a ton. I mean, you could add skin variation if you wanted to, but if you compare Eocarcharia to Purosaurus, like the Puru has lots of very specific scales on him, like to the point where I pretty much had to like hand sculpt every single scale, because crocodile scales are just one of those things that I don't really think lend themselves great to like alphas or like procedural texturing. I feel like it's better to hand sculpt those because it makes them feel a lot nicer, a lot more natural. So stuff like that, like I would say Crocs, Ankylosaurs, Ankylo. There we go. Anything with feathers, so like, you know, raptors, pterosaurs probably. Pterosaurs. These are going to take much longer than just like a normal, like just like a theropod, you know, like a Eocarcharia style theropod. Because they're just so specific. Like these guys have very specific scutes on their back and all over the place, like big scales that need to flow into each other. These guys have a similar situation going on. They got a lot of individual spikes and stuff that need to be accounted for, very specific osteoderm patterns. And then this is just feather management, like placing all the feathers, texturing all the feathers, and like the fuzz. So these three or these four groups of creatures, I'd say, take the most time, in my opinion. Okay, if it's something that worked at it for 3 hours a day, what work hours typically look like? It would take about a month. No, like if we were working on this full time, right? Like, if I was able to work on Echoes of Extinction stuff like 8 hours a day, like a normal work day, I could have a model done in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But yeah, of course, like we don't get that. I don't get that time. To like consistently work on it like that. So it does take it is spread out over several sessions per week, so it takes a lot longer. But if you were to condense the time, it would only be like a couple weeks. When creating models, is there a certain step that is your favorite, like shaping it or texturing it, the fine details, etc.? I tend to like the beginning stages of a model more. Like the funnest part for me is like block-in stage and like establishing the initial forms, because that's where it's where you use the most of your anatomy knowledge. And I really love studying anatomy. So like the phase of the model where like you have your mesh and you're starting to indicate like all the muscle groups. That's really fun for me. I really like that stage. Detailing phase can kind of get it can kind of be fun like in the beginning, but eventually it can kind of feel like a bit of a slog, because it's kind of a lot of repetitive work, and once you like really get into it, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. Like it can be kind of daunting because you have your you have the whole model, right? And you got to make it really nicely detailed. And it can just psychologically be a lot to deal with. So that is more like a mental challenge for me, is like getting through that phase. Trying to get over that hump. That's usually like a lot of creative people will talk about like that sort of, they call it the ugly stage of a model. I feel like they're more like describing that sort of hump where like they're climbing up that mountain, and the hardest part is just trying to reach to like get to the top. Once you're at the top, you can kind of coast down the other side, but trying to get up there is very hard. And for me that happens in the detail stages. I imagine smaller raptors will be harder to model with feathers and animation, whilst the big guys like Spinosaurus will be easier. Spino will be really, for as far as modeling goes, Spino compared to like Purosaurus will be a lot easier. How to turn an Ankylosaurus model into Anguirus. Exactly, yeah, just swap out the head. How many dinosaurs do you think you will be streaming? I don't know. As long as you guys find this stuff interesting and you want to see more development and stuff like that, I'll keep doing the streams. It's fun for me, so I don't mind streaming every model that I work on if it helps out the, if it helps spread interest and knowledge about game development and everyone's enjoying the streams, I'll keep streaming. I have no problem, doing all this stuff. I mean, if you guys if you have opinions on like what exactly you would like to see, like, do you want to see like every little step, or are you more interested in, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess we could like discuss different ways to break things up, I suppose. It's kind of just easier just to like jump on a stream and just like do 1 or 2 work sessions a week and just keep on moving, Doesn't require a ton of planning, and it's just everyone who wants to see stuff can see stuff, and we just move through the models that way. I feel like maybe like if this were more like a full-time thing, maybe like streaming every single model might be too much. So maybe it would be more like streaming like certain chunks of the model's progress instead of every single little step. But I don't know. Pizza, I'm late to the party, but what's up, Rar? Hope your day is going well. Hey, Pizza. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, my day's going pretty well. Just getting more work done on the Tropeo right now. Trying to prep these claws for some scale details. But the Saturday's going well so far. How about you? If UE gets Kickstarter funded and offers you to work full-time modeling, would you be able to do, or would you have too many projects going on at the same time? I mean, I would love to work on Echoes of Extinction more. I don't know, like realistically, like if that's something that's in the cards. Because there's, I mean, the models are important, right? But like, I feel like there's probably other people on the team who would need to be full time, more than me, to get the game done. But you know, who knows? We'll see how it goes. I think regardless, that the Kickstarter being fully funded will help the game move forward much faster. So I'm really optimistic that will happen. I wonder how big the Spino will scale compared to the EO. Like, it's probably going to be massive. Yeah, it's pretty big. Like the EO is technically like, it's not a very big theropod. Like, it's more like a mid-sized theropod. So if you stood it side by side to a Spino, it would look really small. Like I've done Spinosaurus a couple of times now, for other projects, and I'm always really surprised by just how big that guy is. Like, he's gigantic. I think I may have mentioned this on stream before, but a friend of mine and I were like messing around in Blender with his VR headset, and you can like walk around in the scene in Blender with the VR headset on, and we just threw in a few different models of dinosaurs and like made sure they were like to scale with us in the scene. And man, getting up close to like a properly scaled model, like in relation to you, is pretty crazy looking. Like, we threw in, my friend had a Majungasaurus, and we threw that in, and like Majunga isn't like a huge theropod, but like if you stand next to it, that thing is very scary. Like, his head is like, it's like the size of my torso. Like, you could definitely tell, like, if that thing bit you, even if it like bumped you, you would be in a world of trouble. Like, it is very intimidating, like very different to see, like, in theory what the size of it is, and then like stand next to it. And then so we threw in the Majunga, and then we threw in a Spino, and that was terrifying. Like, he is gigantic. Like, I was standing next to its leg, and it felt like a tree. Like, I could wrap, I don't think I would be able to wrap my arms around. It's that big. But it was a very cool experience. It made me really want to get a headset. A VR headset. I still haven't gotten one. Aside from doing that, I don't really know what use I would have. But it is really fun. What dinos do you plan to make? I'm not exactly sure. Like what? I mean, I want to make all of them, honestly. But it is quite a large list. So realistically, I don't know if I will be able to make all of them. But maybe, you know, depends on how Islander wants to handle it. Most of the times I stream, it's very late in EU. Really? Okay. I did not know that. I have to double check. Maybe I could do like a different slot that's more convenient. I'm not really sure where Echoes of Extinction lies as far as like where the audience, most of the audience is, you know? It's also partly to do with my own schedule as well, because I have work most of the week. So during the week, I'm only available during evenings, and then on weekends, of course, I can kind of do it anytime. I chose earlier in the day. I think after Islander Islander and I had a conversation about it, but I don't know. I'm open to switching things up a little bit if it helps other people join the stream more often. Would really love to see Anki, one of my faves. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work with we'll just say thyreophorans for other projects. So I'm excited for people to see what I've been doing there. They're very hard. I will say that. They're probably some of the hardest dinosaurs that I've ever worked on. But I'm totally up for doing more of them because they are very interesting. Let's see. Chevy. To me, it's truly fascinating to see how game models are created from scratch. Love your anatomical interested backgrounds and knowledge going into your creations. The bird is awesome. Thank you. Right now, I'm just making some lunch and praying my car won't turn on so I can miss work today. Oh man. I recently had some trouble with my car. It like for real did not turn on. It's kind of sad, but it's also an old car. It's my first car that I like ever had. So it is quite it has seen better days. So I think we did get a new car, which is very nice. But it's like, it's so funny to like contrast like the new car versus my car. Cause it's like the new car has like all the, like, it's got the like rear facing camera and like heated seats and all that stuff. And then like going back into my car feels like it just feels like I'm going back in time, you know, like compared to the new car, it feels like I'm driving some kind of Flintstone mobile. But it is kind of, I'm a little attached to my car. So I don't really want to have to sell it or just get rid of it, but it is having some trouble. Bramblebeard, are you more normal map details to help lower polys for better performance? Are you using more normal map details? Yeah, the normal map is pretty important for that. It does carry majority of it carries all of the detail for the model basically. So it's really important that we get a good bake on the normal map. So that's basically what I'm doing right here, right? Because like all of this detail that I'm putting in is going to go into the normal map. Roy Levis, thank you so much. Cash for Anki funding. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope I get to work on an Anki. So yeah, all of those osteoderms are going to be a challenge, but they look so cool once they're all done and detailed up. The hardest, honestly, the hardest part of doing a ankylosaurid is just like dealing with the low poly. The low poly can get very crazy, especially if you're trying to incorporate all of the osteoderms into the mesh. Like not having the osteoderms be separate objects. That's tough. How big is Tropeo? Tropeo, I need to remember the actual wingspan. I don't know off the top of my head. There's a medieval VR game called Blades and Sorcery that's pretty fun if you're into that sort of thing. I downloaded all the mods to add Star Wars stuff, so I do Jedi battles when I play VR. I have seen, I might have seen that game. I mean, there are like a few games that would be fun. I feel like I have yet to see like a game like take kind of full advantage of VR. Maybe, I don't know. I also haven't like looked into it too much. I played Half-Life, a bit of Half-Life Alyx at my friend's place. That was really fun. A little disorienting trying to control the character in 3D space, but overall pretty cool experience. Oh, Saturday stream is good. Wednesday is the middle of the night for me, but I watch it afterwards next day. Okay. Yeah, during the week is hard. Because I really can't really wiggle around too much during the week, unfortunately. I say it's mostly EU. The tech demo EU server was more full than North America. Oh, really? That's interesting. My first car was a Toyota Corolla with close to 300,000 miles on it, and it would shut off in the middle of driving when it started to die. So I feel you. I drive a 2019 RAV4 now, and I love it. We were actually looking into a RAV4. We didn't end up getting one though, but we were looking into that. Yeah. Cars are... The other thing that it like contributes to it is like I'm definitely not a car guy. Like I don't know too much about cars, so every time something goes wrong with it, I'm like, oh my god, like now I gotta go to the mechanic, and I gotta trust that they're not gonna like rip me off and all that stuff. I wish I knew a little bit more about them so I could maybe attempt to fix issues on my own, but there's just not enough time in the day to learn. I've my area of expertise is you know kind of set in stone, I suppose. I'm a art and dinosaur guy, not a car guy. Most don't know the magic of normal maps. Normal maps are a really cool thing, yeah. Tropeo is 8 meters wingspan, which is the exact same as Enki. Okay, let's get some... I want to get some like micro detail. I don't know if it's micro, but I want to get smaller detail in on this guy. So let's do some scales on his feet. I think I need to make a alpha really quick though. Let's see. We need a plane. And then I need to subdivide this up. Okay. Got a plane. We are going to make a little scoot shape here. Kind of irregular. Raise that up out of the plane a little bit. And we'll give it a little bit of dimension, not too much. Let's invert this mask a little bit. Something like this. And we can make a couple of variations on it just to have some variety. I'll wiggle this edge around a little bit so it's not the exact same every time. So that's one version. Yeah, and then we'll do one more where it's kind of a little bit more generic, I suppose. That should be good. And then we'll capture this alpha really quick. Should I do... We'll do the layer brush. We'll try this first. If not, I'll just make a VDM. If it doesn't work out. Let's see. What am I looking for? No. There it is. Grab the dock. And we'll turn that one on and grab it. We'll turn this one on and grab it. Okay. Let's go back to the model. When's Spino out? Rexy, we have not... I mean, we have a concept for Spino, but we haven't started Spino. It's going to be a while for that guy. So I'm going to start dragging this alpha out on the surface here. And I'm kind of going to vary the alpha just to make sure it's not super repetitive. And then we'll sculpt on top too. So it's going to be, it's a bit of a process. Kind of do a little bit of a pattern here. We'll kind of alternate. Between these. Not far, only like 7 away. Yeah, I mean, that's not too far, I suppose. It's just that, you know, we'd have to actually model them, you know. So and there's a few, judging by that list that she posted, Dino, there's a couple challenging guys in there that before Spino, like the Dinochirus is going to be something, you know, because he's got all that shaggy. I guess it depends on how we actually like do it, right? But generally, like depictions of Dinochirus have been just like big shaggy, like lots and lots of feathers kind of guy. So that one will be pretty challenging, I think. Oh, what happened here? That is because I didn't have backface masking on. The good thing is I stored a morph target, so I can come back and erase it all. So that is a win for morph targets. Will Spino be out late 2026? Maybe. I don't know. I can't guarantee that. Especially if I'm the one doing the modeling, but I mean, I'll tell you that I will do my best to get through as many as possible. I don't want people waiting forever to, for their favorite dinosaur, So I'll do my best for you, but cannot guarantee. I actually might, I might need to subdivide one more time. So we're going up to 70 million polys. 70 million. So the thing that the reason why I'm subdividing is because these little edges here are getting kind of crunchy. And I don't want them to be so crunchy. I think I need some wrinkles here somewhere. Just a little bit more detail down in here. Pizza Spino is my favorite dino, so I'll be excited to see it finally out. But no, don't let your excitement give you false expectations of release time, because it'll just make the wait worse. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I definitely feel... I mean, like, there's games that I've been looking forward to for years, right? That I get impatient about as well. So I understand how you guys feel about it, but yeah, it does take time. I'm wondering, I'm like debating how I want to approach this as I'm working. So I do have some new alphas that I've worked on that could maybe be applied here. And this, the keratin sort of texture here needs a little bit more work. $244 backers on Kickstarter, 37% goal reached. We can do this if you believe devs and want the game to come faster. Join us. Yeah, for sure. I was looking at I don't know what I was reading. It was some article about Kickstarters, and that was talking about how like the hardest part for a Kickstarter is like to get 20% funding. It's like a hump that a lot of Kickstarters struggle to overcome. So the fact that we already have 37% is really promising, I think. Oh, great. ZBrush Y. All right. Yeah. ZBrush making me real mad. Actually, and it's not too bad. You can't get mad at ZBrush too often. I wonder if it's my I gotta check my quick save files again, because I wonder if this thing duration 10. Yeah, it didn't save my no, it didn't save my preset. That's why it crashed. It probably tried to quick save, and then the drive was full, and then it freaks out like that. But I wonder why it didn't store my settings. Did not know how Kickstarter worked before this. If the goal is not reached, all money returns to donators and devs don't get anything. I wish that won't happen. Yeah, I feel like there are alternatives, right, to like supporting the project. So maybe those are other venues that could be looked at, but I'm really optimistic that the Kickstarter will do well. Tazy, thank you. Yeah. The one claw, right? The one claw of like, oh my gosh, here we go again. One claw of like 7 claws. Something about showing the rest of the mesh maybe causing some issues. I wonder why though. Does often closes ZBrush. Not often. I think I may have made a boo-boo. Because I did delete the quick saves, and now that old quick save that we did is gone. So I might have lost some work here. Okay. We try to move forward. I have to make up time on that. Let me do a quick experiment though. Yeah, it happens. It happens. I wasn't thinking about I didn't anticipate that it would crash again prior to getting another save. Yes, it's like freaking out because of the showing and hiding parts of the mesh is making it angry. Why it's doing that, I don't know. Maybe let me see if it does it. If I do this, and then if I show the mesh, it could just be that the polygon count is getting too high and it's not liking it. But I've pushed models higher than that before. I don't know. I don't know what is up. But gotta move forward. I'll figure it out. I'll try to figure it out after stream or sometime during the week. Let's see what's going on, because that is not good. But yeah, it happens. I can't, I used to get very like there used to be a version of me who would have been very like, what's the word? Disheartened and like just angry about that, but it's kind of part of the game, I guess. If I got mad every time ZBrush quit or screwed up something, we'll focus on, for the remainder of the stream, we'll just focus on a different area and then make sure we save. I gotta write down, I'll set a little timer. I got this little like, it's kind of a cool little timer. You like set it on its side whatever time that you want. It's got numbers that flash. So if you want like a timer to go off every 15 minutes, you set it on the 15-minute side. And then when that time is up, it'll beep. So we'll do that. We'll set a 15-minute timer, and then at the end of 15 minutes, I'll make sure to save. And then I'll have to figure out what's going on later. Let's see. Chat. UCJ, how's it going? I'm surprised you were able to quick save so quickly with 71 million. Yeah, it does save very quick. Like I built my computer specifically to do all this type of work, so it does do a good job. It's just sometimes ZBrush is ZBrush, you know. It's not the first time it's crashed on me. It's not the last time, you know. Just gotta roll with the punches and get the model done. We'll be fine. We'll do some different area. Like I did all that work on the claws, but we can get that back. We'll do some work on the mouth now. I am one thing that's kind of strange. I don't know a lot about pterosaur tongues, like the structure of how their tongue would be, like whether it would be fused to the palate at the bottom, or if it would be more like a freeform, like freestanding tongue, like a lizard or a bird. Some birds. I might have to do a little bit of research on that. Unless someone in chat is an expert and wants to share some info. Yeah, that is a good question because I'm not, let me see if I can find something really quick about pterosaur tongues. I might just have to do a separate mesh anyway. Let's see. So it's saying something about some pterosaur species having hyoids, indicating that they would have had a tongue, like a muscular tongue. And then saying that some are also, they don't have evidence of them having a tongue. Like it could have been absent. Oh, this is there's a cool little diagram of a Anaerognathid. Oh, but it's the pterosaur heresies, dude. So I don't know if I can trust that one. That's the thing about pterosaurs too, is they're kind of hard to research sometimes because a certain person has like flooded the info. You have to kind of like sift out their input a little bit. I don't think pelicans have tongues. They have that pouch. Yeah, I think it just goes, well, let's see. Let's see if we can find a pelican. Pelican with like a mouth open. Yeah, it seems like they just have that. It's like a big throat pouch. They don't really have a tongue structure. I see their here, I'll show you guys. Like you can see the edge, like here's the bone of the jaw. And then you can see it goes directly into that pouch shape. And this is their airway here. But that's not exactly what we got going on here with the Tropeo. I don't think the Tropeo will have like a big pouch like mechanic, if that's what you want to call it. I think I'll just do like a basic, like fixed, or maybe kind of like a heron or something. It might be better to play it safe a little bit. We'll do like a fixed tongue to the bottom of the palate for now. If we want to add a more complex tongue later, then I can add more geo, and then we'll just do like a separate mesh or something. But for right now, I'm just gonna treat it like a fixed tongue to the bottom of the palate. Yeah, flamingo or stork. Yeah. I'm looking at herons right now. Herons do have looks like they have a more structured tongue that actually like comes out of the mouth, can come out of the mouth. So I'm thinking about that. Let's see. We will see. I want to hide these top teeth. Okay. It looks pretty funny. It looks like it reminded me really quick of that that dude in Beetlejuice when he like pulls his face out and he has his eyeballs on his fingers. Oh, that's our like fuzz test that we did earlier. I forgot we did that. Just hide the bottom teeth. And I want, so in here, I want to make sure there's a space for the the internal nares. I don't know exactly where they would be. I kind of like the stork. I think Roy mentioned a stork. Yeah, I'm looking at a shoe bill right now. Kind of looks cool. How is the game going to be balanced when Rex is heavier than Spino and the Spino is paleo accurate? The Spino is paleo accurate-ish. Like we're not going like super strictly paleo accurate. Like our Spino has longer legs and there are a few other differences that we incorporated into the design. As far as like weight and stuff goes, I'm not really sure. I'm sure there's got to be a way. This is more of a question for Furious than me, but from my experience playing lots of games and even doing a bit of design, like at least like working on my own game projects here and there, trying to think about problems like this. Oh, there's my timer. I gotta save. Make sure I save. There has to be a way to make multiple different types of gameplay viable. It might take some trial and error to get right. I'm not saying that we'll get it right away. But like in theory, right? Like if you were a Spino and you were playing and you were being attacked by a T-Rex, there should be a decent chance for you to actually win the fight, right? Like I don't really feel like a game should like automatically guarantee that you're going to get wrecked by something. It might be hard, it might be challenging, might not be like your best matchup, but you should still stand a fighting chance of being able to survive, right? Because it's also your skill, skill takes a factor in all of that. Like if you're a very skilled player, even though you might be up against something that, on paper would beat you, you could still theoretically win. But I don't know. That's a lot of like theory crafting, right? And you don't really know unless you start playing the game and start testing it out and start making decisions to make the game feel good, So we won't know until we are able to actually see that happen. Let's see. Mozzie, Hey, just got here. Looks good. Do you make the models for all the dinosaurs? So far, yes. So far, I have, yes. I don't really see how like the weight balance is like, because like, I mean, weight is a number, right? Like, yeah, you can say it's this many tons and that many tons, but in terms of the game, I'm not really sure. Like, there's no physics simulation in the game that factors in the weight of the animal. I don't know. I think it's really interesting that we get into these conversations about, like, I see this conversation happening a lot online, like, who would win, T-Rex or Spino? I don't know. They wouldn't have ever interacted ever. Anyway. And like I don't know, I just feel like it's a lot of theory crafting. Like if you work at it hard enough, you can make justifications for a lot of stuff to be in favor of any of those to win or not win, you know. Like, again, we're just gonna have to figure it out when we get to it. I have a lot of faith in Furious and how he's gonna balance everything, so I think we'll be fine. But we can't really say just yet. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, maybe it's just because like my favorite dinosaurs are not Spinosaurus and T-Rex, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. Like, I don't think I've ever really been. I don't know. I don't really see the need to like pit dinosaurs against each other, like some sort of like wrestling match, you know. Seeing dinosaurs fight is cool and all. That's awesome visually, but I don't know. I blame Jurassic Park for all of that. That whole scene where Spino snaps the T-Rex's neck. Initiated a rivalry that will probably never end. Pizza Hands, as an avid Spinosaur fan, I can say I don't care who wins, since more than likely they'd never interact. That being said, Spino just looks cooler to me. That's why I prefer him. I mean, yeah. I like Spinosaurids much more than I do Tyrannosaurids. I think, yeah, visually they just look more unique. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's a video game, right? So like you want to have multiple ways for people to play, and all of those ways should be a viable way to play. It's like I don't know, maybe like an analogy would be like Monster Hunter. I play a lot of Monster Hunter. The weapons, is a certain weapon against a certain monster better or worse? Maybe. But if you're a good enough player, you should be able to beat any monster with any weapon. I think that's kind of like a good example of like player choice and like kind of expression and balance. It's very hard to achieve that sort of thing. It takes a lot of testing and tweaking and stuff like that, but ideally, like if you're, like I said, if you are a Spino player and you come up against a T-Rex player, you should have a decent chance of surviving that encounter. But I don't know. I just make the models. I'll just maybe I should just stay in my lane. I just make the models and make them look pretty, and whatever happens to them afterwards is that. What weapon do I main? I am an insect glaive main. I'll tell you my top 3 weapons: insect glaive, bow, charge blade, switch axe. Sometimes it flip flops between. But I tend to like the more like resource managey weapons, right? Like, because the insect glaive, charge blade, and switch axe, you have that like meter that you gotta deal with while you're playing. I kind of like that. I like I don't know, maybe I like making my life more difficult on myself. I like the kind of like multitasking that happens during combat, and like trying to optimize that to like get the best result. I also think that those weapons just look hella cool, and I really like the transforming mechanics and like the mobility that I get when I'm using insect glaive is really awesome. They're just weapons that I've gravitated to ever since they've been introduced. And I guess they're actually, all of those weapons are mostly the newer weapons, right? They're introduced in like 4 Ultimate or somewhere around there. the first weapons that I tried in Monster Hunter were actually Greatsword. I still like Greatsword. Greatsword and dual blades. I was a dual blade main for a long time. In like the older games. Try, Freedom Unite. What was it? Portable Third. Pizza Hands, Sword and Shield superiority. So I've recently appreciated the Sword and Shield a lot. I have been using Sword and Shield lately as a support because of all of the new monsters that have been added. Like, it's so important to like be able to heal other people, or else you're either you try to support other people, or like you just try to solo the monster, because like, yeah, it's just very valuable to be able to like heal somebody who is maybe not doing so well in the battle, because it could save you your whole mission basically. So sword and shield, for its ability to like, you don't have to sheath your weapon to use an item, and if you use like if you set up your abilities to have wide range, so you can so your healing effects help the other members of your team, it's super nice. So I've been doing that a lot. Against Omega, that's been very important for me. I basically only do like a support build for Omega, and then a lot of the arc tempered stuff too, because people say that the arc tempered step is not hard, and it's generally like, it's not as hard as it was in World, but people still die a lot to those monsters. So being able to help them out just a little bit is nice. I really like being able to guard too, like guarding, especially if you have like guard up on your sword and shield, or anything with the shield. It's really cool. I do when I'm not using sword and shield, or like charge blade, or like gun lance. I feel super vulnerable. Insect glaive is kind of hard because, like, at least with the bow, you have that perfect dodge, which is really awesome. Dual blades get the perfect dodge too, but with the insect glaive, you don't get a perfect dodge. You have to just have to hope you don't get hit, or you have to watch your placement a lot more. Are there going to be water dinos like Pleasy and Moza? I'd have to check the lineup again. I don't have it memorized. Sorry, guys. I know there is a shark. Not a dino, but there's a shark, which is really cool. I have not seen a game where you could play as a shark. I always use sword and shield, but I've also almost always been a solo player since I started playing on the PS2. I do use dual swords a lot too, though. Very aggressive in hunts, yeah. I wonder how a fight between a T-Rex or something similar size and a rhino would be. I mean, if it's going to be too easy to kill a rhino, the biggest carnivores are going to crash it, I think. I would really like to see a game that like kind of subverts that sort of like expectation that herbivores are like these like kind of weaker kind of animals, I guess. And in reality, if you look at a lot of ecosystems, lots of like a perfect example is like hippos, right? Hippos are the most dangerous thing in that ecosystem. I feel like a lot of it would have been the same in lots of Mesozoic ecosystems. Like, yeah, of course the carnivores are hunting things, but the things that they're hunting are probably super strong, very well equipped to like deal with threats. They're probably pretty aggressive as well, especially to like potential threats that might come their way. Maybe even like very like reactive, you know. I would like to see like something where like the herbivores are taken pretty seriously as far as like the threat they pose to other players. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what an Orano would do against a T-Rex. Who would win, Lagiacrus or Plesioth? Educated opinion. Oh man, it's been so long since I fought Plesioth. I hate him so much. His like, he does this like dumb like chicken run, and he has like that hip check. It's terrible. And then he like wastes your time so much by jumping back into the water. I don't even like his armor set. I can't remember what his armor set looks like. Maybe let's see. So I don't know if it's even worth fighting him to get his armor. It looks like a diver suit thing. It doesn't look too bad. I don't know if I would want to wear it. Plesioth versus Lagiacrus. I have to take my emotions out of it. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd go for Lagiacrus. He's got the elemental damage on top of the physical stuff. He's very like super mobile. I think he's like the apex predator of that environment, right? At least in the games where he's been introduced. He's one of that apex tier, whereas Plesioth is like, he's just kind of like there. I don't think you would be able to call him an apex. So that would be my vote. I think Lagiacrus is genuinely hard. Like, I do think he's a hard monster to fight. Whereas I would say Plesioth is just annoying. I think there's like some unfairness in that fight. I have thalassophobia, yet I'm intrigued by water dinos. I think I'm the same way with like phobias and right, like I get you where you're coming from there. There are certain things I would say have a phobia for, but there's also like a bit of a fascination. Pizza, I really wish Monster Hunter would bring back the underwater combat. Always fun to fight underwater. Yeah, I didn't find it as annoying as other people might have. They do have a little bit of that underwater combat in Wilds with the Gaiacris. It does feel much better, I will say. I could definitely see them doing it more often. And it not being like received terribly. But it's only like, it's very limited, right? Because like at least in Wilds, there's only like one little area where you can fight underwater, and it's only the Gaiacris. So I feel like I would want them to like open up the world a little bit more and let you fight in more areas. Okay. All right, so we did get some work done. I'm kind of bummed, a little bit bummed that we lost some of that progress, but I'll get it back. I'll put in probably a few hours this week and get the claws shaped up how I wanted, and then we'll keep going. But it's not too much further now. I suppose like we gotta work out how we're gonna do all of the feathers and stuff soon, and I got to do a lot of research into how we want to go about that. That is, what else do we got to do? Let's see. We will do, I need to do concepts for growth. So we could also do that. That might be a good thing to switch up. We got to do colors. And then we got to do the feathers. Is there not too much more to do on the high poly? Like, I got to pump a good amount of detail in here still, but like, essentially, the skin is near done. Like all of this, because I did this, like all of this area here is going to be covered by fur. So we do need to detail it out, but it is going to be covered. So we have to take that into consideration. But yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna head out right now, guys. So thanks again for hanging out with me today. Really appreciate the feedback, the comments, all that stuff. I will be here again on Wednesday. So I'll see you then, and I'll like I said, I'll try to recoup some of what happened today. Thanks to ZBrush. Have a good rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you later. I gotta figure out how to sign off of the stream now, because I lost my window. So we're gonna have this awkward, like, you know, when you say goodbye to somebody but you're not actually ready to leave yet. Okay. Here we go. See you guys. See you later.